Imagine a world where you're a spirit, possessing random people to fight twisted monsters in a relentless time loop, and with your only weapons being blood and borrowed bodies. Intrigued? Yeah, I was too. Developed by the legendary Keiichiro Toyama's team at Boken Game Studios, Slitterhead promised a blend of horror and combat with a gritty supernatural twist. And with such a unique setup, I wanted badly for this game to live up to its bold ambitions. But after many hours of playing this game, this is what I have to unpack. Let's dive in. Right out of the gate, Slitterhead delivers a world that feels like a fever dream. A version of Hong Kong drenched in neon lights, back alleys, and ominous alleys. The streets pulse with the gritty underground energy, bringing up memories of games like Sleepy Dogs, but with a nightmarish twist. And there's also a retro aesthetic here, as the game looks like an early 2000s game, but one that's been remastered with high textures and eerie details. And the monsters and creatures embody horror. For me, this game is unapologetically grotesque. And these are Slitherheads, the game's tutorial monsters. They grotesquely reveal their true forms. They're unsettling, in a good way. But the novelty fades once you realize you're facing the same few designs, over and over again. It starts to feel more like a horror ride you've been dragged through repeatedly than a fresh scare with each encounter. Now, moving on to the story, or rather the fragmented, cryptic experience Slitherhead offers. You're an amnesiac spirit, known as a Hyoki, possessing humans to survive this hostile world, and while the setup hints at a deep lore and hidden histories, the game is mundanely cryptic. It's almost as if it's trying to keep you in the dark on purpose. And don't get me wrong, in some game, obscurity works in their favor, adding layers of mystery, but unfortunately here, it feels like most of the story is deliberately tucked behind memory fragments and time-hopping mechanics that just confuse more than they clarify. And as the game's plot unfolds, you're introduced to special humans called rarities, and they can fully bond with the Hyoki, gaining supernatural abilities. And each rarity comes with its unique abilities and personalities, which for me sounded intriguing, but its potential here is largely undercut by the game's loop, as by the time I hit the ending, I was left scratching my head, and not in a mind-blown kind of way. But moving on to the gameplay, as this is where things get interesting and a bit frustrating. The game combines third-person combat with platforming and even stealth mechanics. You start each mission by possessing ordinary civilians, and if you're lucky, you'll find one of those rarities. They're the heart of the combat in this game, and bring unique blood-powered abilities into the mix, such as healing, tanking, and dealing massive damage. It's a cool concept honestly, but then comes execution, as this is where it falters. And as you can tell, the combat in this game is simple, and maybe too simple, as each mission has you mashing buttons to fight through waves of similar looking enemies. And when I say similar, I mean it, as there are maybe 3 or 4 main types of enemies, and after a few hundred of them, it starts to feel mind-numbing. And while you have a few unique moves with rarities, the game never asks you to really master them in creative ways, and instead, it relies on the same basic encounters and turns the game into a repetitive grind. And then there's the infamous time loop mechanic. The idea is that you'll replay parts of the game to uncover more of the story and gather memories. But again, this doesn't add much but frustration. You'll see the same levels with minor variations over and over again, and it starts to feel like padding, as the designs of these missions feel like a throwback to early 2000 games. Rigid pads, invisible walls, and a strange mix of empty exploration areas and locked down routes. This is not the good kind of nostalgia, it's more like getting stuck in the past. If there was one redeeming aspect of this game, it's its character progression system for the rarities, as each character has a unique set of skills that can be upgraded, and unlocking these can be satisfying, but only when you get there. Cause here's the catch, certain rarities are hidden within missions, and if you happen to miss them, then you have to replay these missions to continue progression. The game takes the concept of replayability and turns it into an endurance test, and by the 10th time I replayed a mission, I was just hoping and praying to unlock a character, as the excitement was long gone. For me, Slitherhead is packed with cool ideas, unique characters, hauntingly designed monsters, and a complex plot to uncover. But instead of engaging me, it felt like the game was pushing me into endless loops and repetitive combat encounters. And when it comes to the game's final hours, these were some of the toughest I had to endure. Mission after mission, I was hoping to get something different, but as I expected, it was just the same loop over and over again. And by the time I reached the end, I didn't even want to make this review. But this is the reason I need to make this review. In order to let you guys know that I cannot recommend this game. For me, it's a 4 out of 10, and it's a game I cannot recommend to any of you. Even if you're a fan of Keiichiro Toyama's work, it's not a game worth it, at least not for me. If you've played it, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.